Some people around here, some sports media types, ignore hockey, but whenever I go outside, I, Marky Billson, host of Tri-Cities Sports Now, see people wearing Predators stuff here in the Tri-Cities. And I go outside, just about every day. So, that's why Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports Nashville comes on. A lot of people think that he's the man in covering the Predators, certainly in his previous website on the Forecheck, and that's why A to Z Sports Nashville wanted him. But I know that a game that I would have liked to have seen more of, but unfortunately it occurred right when ETSU was playing basketball, not to mention a potential Super Bowl preview with the Rams and Chiefs on Monday night, so I didn't get the chance to see what I wanted to, of a potential Stanley Cup preview between the Lightning and the Predators Monday night, and Nashville won at 3-2. They still have the best record overall in the NHL, or the highest points total. And I'll ask you, was that the Stanley Cup preview, albeit early, but was there the feeling that that was the Stanley Cup preview when the Predators defeated the Lightning 3-2 on Monday?
Well, I don't know if it was a Stanley Cup preview, but it was the closest thing to playoff hockey that the Predators have played this year so far, and maybe even the Lightning too. It was a fantastic hockey game. It was absolutely back and forth the whole game. The Predators built a 3-1 lead. The Lightning cut it back to 3-2 early in the third, and the rest of the third period from about the 16-minute mark on was just some of the most exciting hockey you'll ever see. Huge saves at both ends, both teams getting huge chances. Pecorino getting a huge save by his defenseman, Matthias Ekholm, who saved the puck off the line with like 8 seconds left in the game. Great game, fantastic game, best game so far, and a big win that puts the Predators back on top of the league.
Well, I'm a big Renee fan, Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports Nashville. You've just written a story. It's Pekka Rinne on the verge of reaching yet another impressive milestone for the Predators. I was impressed by his 9-0-1 record against Tampa Bay, which I think does bode well if it is the Predators and Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals this year. But, okay, what else is Rinne on the cusp of?
So on Monday night, he tied Mika Kiprasov for the most wins by a goalie from Finland. So he is the all-time, after his next win, he will be the all-time winningest Finnish goalie. And so when you put that into comparison with other goalies throughout the country, of course, Martin Brodeur is the all-time leading wins goalie in all of the NHL, including Canada. But if you really kind of try to play this out and see where is Rinne going to finish, no pun intended there, where is he going to finish with in his career sort of standings by the end? Let's say he gets somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 wins the rest of his career, which is possible. He's got this year and 2 more years after it. He will be in that 400, close to that 400 win mark, which would put him past Dominic Hasek, would put him close to Grant Fuhr, put him close to Glenn Hall, all Hall of Famers. So he's really starting to snip around that Hall of Fame line, so to speak, for goalies. And I think being the best all time in your country's history at goalie is just one step, and I think it's a big milestone.
I would agree. Rinne, certainly a Hall of Famer. By the way, next hour I'm going to talk about the Hall of Fame class in both baseball and football that they'll be talking about. But first, we want to talk to Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports Nashville. And you're right. By the way, the 400 victory plateau, you'd say that was sort of that Rule 4 enshrinement, just like, I don't know, it used to be 300 victories for a pitcher in baseball was considered to be but 400 wins for a hockey goalie, not 300?
I think so, mostly because you've got a lot of players who are close to that, who have made it to the Hall of Fame based on other considerations. Of course, a guy like Dominic Hasek, who won only 389 games, but finally did get a Stanley Cup and was so clearly the best goalie of his era. Vezina, and be in the conversation up through to his retirement for those kinds of things. So if he wins another big piece of hardware like the Stanley Cup or a Vezina or a Conn Smythe or something, and also gets to that 400 wins, I think he's in.
Well, the impressive thing I thought about Rene beating the Lightning, and as you say, came up real big late, was he did it without PK Subban. In fact, there are two pretty big players that are missing with the Predators. What's the injury status right now of the Predators?
In the past, it could be something with that, but it's really, he has not been skating though, and so I think it'll be a little while. The other big injury concern is Victor Arvidsson, who broke a thumb, and is out for 6 to 8 weeks. He'll be back sometime in January or so. Subban's a big loss, though. I mean, he's obviously the highest paid player on the team. He's also one of the best, productive players on the team in terms of everything that he does. He plays a lot of minutes. He plays on the power play. He plays even strength minutes.
I mean, absolutely looked upon as one of the stars, not only on the Predators, but of the league. So you've got, man's dating Lindsey Vonn and all that. We talk a lot about the star potential of the Nashville Predators, don't we? They're, sort of have that sort of Lakers feel to it in a hockey way sometimes. Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports Nashville. Unfortunately, you're not quite as big on that as some other writers. What Carrie Underwood's status is with the Predators anymore or something like that.
Have very minor personalities off the ice. Now, obviously, PK Subban is exception there, and when you have someone like that, he has that sort of star power because he's sort of this larger-than-life character. But take a guy like Philip Forsberg.
Forsberg, yeah, sure, yeah.
He's 24 years old. He leads them in goals. He will. I mean, this is really not breaking any news. He will be the all-time leading goal scorer in.
Yeah, there's a point. I mean, back in the day when it was Lemieux and Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, it's kind of well known. He may even own the Penguins, but he was always somebody who, he'd like to take a step back from the media. He'd do his duties in a locker room, but you probably weren't going to get him outside of that. And a lot of people think that was one of the reasons why, to the lay person, to the casual sports fan, maybe Lemieux wasn't thought of in quite the same vein as Wayne Gretzky. Here. So what you say is absolutely true. It's modern day sports. I mean, it used to always bother me that Deion Sanders got all this publicity because he would do end zone dances. I mean, what did that have to do with playing football? So I hear what you are saying, Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports Nashville, but nevertheless, I also think that, it doesn't hurt the Predators selling themselves, the fact that it's not going to go away. What is your biggest fear with Austin Watson right now?
Well, so I think, he came back last Thursday against Arizona and skated, and he got a couple points. And I think the general feeling around the team and a lot of the fan base, I say a lot of the fan base, not all of the fan base, is that they're ready to move on, and they want to move past it, that it's over. So can easily come back from. Sure, if you want to, regardless of how you feel about the actual incident and about what his girlfriend said in the media about what actually happened and how it was just a misunderstanding and a mistake, that's fine. But the way that it plays out is not just as simple as, it'll go away. Because what happens next time they have an event that they want to host? Is Austin Watson there? And if he's not, why isn't he? And then
happens in this situation, so it's a point well taken. You've also written about Kevin Fiala, and he only has a couple of goals on this season. What do you think has to happen for Fiala to get out of his funk?
Well, they are really kind of they're painting themselves into a corner with Fiala, because what they're trying to do is not working, and yet they are losing value in him. If they were going to try to showcase him for a trade, they're not doing a very good job, because his value is not really all that high right now. And he's only 22. He's got an RFA coming up. I don't know any way in which they should try to I don't think that there's anything he's done that warrants a long-term deal with the Predators.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they went into this season trusting him to be a top six forward, and that means contributing, at least 20 goals and putting up probably 40 or 50 points, and he's sitting at 9 points through 21 games. It's just not happening right now. He's not shooting well. He's not skating well. He's turning the puck over. Nothing's looking good. However, this time last year, he was in a similar situation when they acquired Kyle Turris, and he really got going in the second half and turned out a 20-goal season. So, it could happen. It could turn around, but they are running out of time, and that's kind of my whole take on it. So they really need him to pull out of this funk quickly if he's going to make anything out of this season.
Yeah, I know you retweeted Brooks Batten talking about the morning skate. Has Fiala, who had 23 goals last year, has he been demoted to the fourth line?
He's actually played more on the third and fourth lines this year than he has on the top
there you
1
go.
or 2. And recently he's been more on the fourth line than even the third line.
Can he handle that role as a checker? I'm sorry, I got 30 seconds here left. Do you think that Fiala can handle that role that you need to as more of a checker there?
I really don't.
Okay.
His game is in skill with the puck and not hitting folks.
There you go. Well, we have on Alex Daugherty, because he's the man in the know with the Nashville Predators, and got the best, even with Fiala slumping and with Subban on the shelf, got the best record in the NHL points-wise. Wow. This is looking like a good team that can only get better. Tri-Cities Sports Now. Would you agree with me there?